Good morning and welcome to our fourth trimester Arizona community gathering. And this one is our East Valley gathering. And we have streaming in with us today a wonderful friend and colleague who has really nurtured our love for fourth trimester and actually helped us a lot with our own self-care as we've been building this program. Jimmy Gialellis, and he is a licensed massage therapist. And I have this other acronym on here, BCTMB, and has been nationally certified as a massage therapist for 17 years. He maintains a private practice in Tempe, Arizona. He teaches both at the Southwest Institute of Healing Arts and with his company, Advanced Massage Arts and Education. His support of the fourth trimester conference includes supporting men to navigate fatherhood in healthy manners. So we're so excited to have you here today. You're such an inspiration to us. And like I said, you've definitely helped both Sarah and I manage a lot of the stresses of having kids and having businesses and things to do, and that's a super huge big important thing, and if you can't take care of yourself in that process, then it's really hard to keep moving. So we're so delighted to have you here today to share some of these tips.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jenny. It's been a pleasure to work with you and your organization, fourth trimester. I love that we're on the fourth year of fourth trimester. That makes
Ooh.
it extra special, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's really fun to be here today and to be able to share. And really, I love that we can share in a context where we're all kind of in the same boat in this way. I have two children myself. They're now 10 and 8. And it's just amazing to see how fast the time goes by. And I found that my self-care, to answer your question directly, Sarah, my self-care is between 5 and 6 a.m. Because if I don't get it in that time frame, it's probably not going to happen at all. It's just, I know that when my kids wake up at 6, it's just go, go, go. They're in my face, or they're just doing their thing, and I need to be on my thing, doing whatever I need to do. So it's really important that right off the bat we talk about the idea of kindness to yourself. Kindness. I think that we often don't give ourselves the kindness that we need to give ourselves. It's just too easy to kind of put so much focus on everyone else, other people, my spouse or whoever at home, and then we just kind of think it's easy to make ourselves the last person we offer anything to. So
Totally.
it's
Yeah.
important that we offer ourselves the same kindness that we would offer other people, because we deserve it too. We work hard as parents, so we deserve to give ourselves that same kindness. So self-care, I think, is an expression of kindness to oneself. Self-care is an expression of kindness to oneself. Is that Facebook worthy? I think it is. It might be the next Facebook quote, 100 likes, right?
Uh-huh.
Right on. So my approach today will be to share self-care in 3 contexts. One will be physical touch, practicing a physical touch on ourselves, breath work, certainly we do some breath work together, and then a meditation to wind down our time. So I think we'll start with the idea of physical touch, and there's a few points on the body that I want to have us touch, either on ourselves, or if there's a little Nino or Nina next to us, we can use them as well. A few points that I want to highlight when we start feeling really stressed at home and we feel like, okay, there's a physical angst we feel in our body. Many people need to feel a touch to help ease that angst, to ease the anxiety that's felt. And if we can't always call that massage therapist to come over at a moment's notice, we need to be able to offer something, with ourselves. So a few really good points, and I'll kind of show them and then also have us try something with a physical touch aspect. We can try it on ourselves. A few points are going to be this point right here at the webbing of the thumb, between the thumb and first finger, kind of holding that point. This happens to be an acupressure point that's popular in Chinese medicine. So again, right between the thumb and first finger, inside the webbing, deep inside the webbing. And when I hold any of these points, I will always hold with a small amount of pressure, very light at first, and I gradually increase the pressure, gradually increasing until we feel some sort of resistance. The body kind of stops us from going deeper at a certain point. We never want to cause pain, certainly. So we want to just come to a point where your body's starting to resist. And that's a point where the body says, enough pressure right there. If we're working with a child, we don't have to use nearly as much pressure as you do with an adult. So please know that with a child, their bodies have more water content. They may feel a little more squishy in their tissues, soft in their tissues. So you may not feel the same resistance in a child versus the adult body. So if in a child, if you just were just a touch and give us just a slight pressure, that's all you need to stimulate a child's body. Okay. All right, indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of highlight what that may look like. And I want you all to try this as well, just to kind of feel what that can feel like of just barely touching the point and then increasing that pressure just a little bit at a time, a little bit nice and slowly until you feel some resistance. When you feel the resistance, close your eyes. Close your eyes and just feel whatever it is you feel. There is no right or wrong or good or bad. It just is.
Jimmy, can you use this anytime?
Anytime you wish. In fact, I like to use this at times if I have writer's block, when I try to write articles and get that writer's block, or anytime that you just feel like it's been a day already and it's only 11:30. Just anytime that you ever feel like you just need a soothing moment, hide away in the bathroom or whatnot.
While you're on the toilet? No.
Exactly right. I admit one other thing I didn't want to admit to before, Sarah, was self-care question, but sometimes I've snuck into the bathroom and had chocolate there. So after I have my chocolate, then
no judgment. No
no,
judgment.
okay, good. Well, we've all had that kind of moment. So it's so important that we have those moments, though. We can just kind of break away a bit, or if we can't break away to another room, at the very least, just being able to sit down and just hold these spots on our bodies, even just for a minute or two, will make a difference. Because we've discovered that when the body goes through its fight or flight response, the body is certainly in an excitable mode. These points we're going to show are going to be points that help calm that sympathetic response, that fight or flight response. Another great point here we can try is going to be at the forearm level. The forearm level, going about 4 fingers from the wrist crease. So if I put my index finger on the wrist crease, count out about 4 fingers, where your pinky finger lands is a powerful acupressure point. So touching the wrist crease, 4 fingers below where your pinky finger lands, that's another great acupressure point. Kind of trying to aim kind of dead center in that forearm area. Let's hold that in the same manner. Light touch first, and then slowly easing in with more pressure until you feel resistance. Closing our eyes, no expectation. We just feel whatever we feel.
I really like that one.
Indeed, I'll put the names of these points, the Chinese names for them pretty soon here. But I just love these points as far as calming points. It's so important that we use our bodies as a way, because our bodies already have the points to hold. On the opposite side of the forearm, so where you just were, opposite side is another great calming point. So again, we were on the anterior, which means front side. Let's go to the opposite side, the back of the forearm, the exact same point on the back of the forearm. So 4 fingers just, they say proximal or just away from the wrist on the forearm. Let's hold that same spot again, starting light and easing into the body. Even just holding a minute at a time makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So aren't these wonderful points?
Yeah, totally.
It's so powerful, so powerful. I'm going to put them in the group chat right now as far as what we're holding here. front side of forearm. We had, I'm giving you kind of the Chinese abbreviations for these. Yeah, indeed. Oh, I meant to, I mistyped. Oh, I mistyped here. I meant the front side of forearms was supposed to be PC6. Back side of forearm. That's what I meant to say. TW5. And if you take a Chinese medicine course, you get to kind of learn what all these acronyms mean. They kind of relate to the meridian organ pathways, organs in the body here. And the yin tong is going to be the third eye point. We're going to go through a third eye point right now, too. The third eye point is pretty powerful here as far as just where I would have a unibrow. And then, you know, I'm Greek, so I'm very Greek. So I have that unibrow going on here. So where I've shaved my unibrow for today, I will hold at the yin tong third eye point as well. Some people like to hold kind of with two fingers around it, kind of like the bridge of the nose. Other people like to hold the actual unibrow spots. So whatever's more comfortable for you. Let's close our eyes and slowly add pressure. Wonderful. And whatever it is you feel is okay. One thing I do like to say in the massage and healing arts world, we say nothing is good or bad, it just is. So whether you feel something or dramatic or not, something big or small, whether it feels hot or cold, that doesn't necessarily matter as much. Whatever it is you feel, you feel. And so just hold on to that feeling. No need to add judgment or value to what we feel. Okay? All right, so if you can feel those 4 points throughout the day, that would be great. They are, of course, the arm points, the hand points are bilateral, so you can certainly hold each side for about 30 seconds to a minute at each time. And that may be a really good ritual to schedule into your day. My self-care is going to be this time every day, because if I can have my child or whoever watch TV, this particular show, or to be on a tablet or eat their snack at this point, I'll make sure that I get that 5 minutes I need to hold these points or do whatever we do for self-care. Okay? Some days I have had to literally put it into my phone, literally. So there's no shame in that, right? We got to schedule everything.
I've found, Jimmy, that sometimes if I do, especially the physical stuff, if I do them the next day, the kids are like, are we going to do that again? Like sometimes I'll even do it with them and they're like, yeah, my one child will be like, it's time to do that again, Mom. Can we do it? And I'll be like, oh yeah.
I love that here. Because the more that we can incorporate the children into the activities, the better. Very good points. Yes. Let's do some breathing, shall we? Let's do some breathing. I think it's healthy to do some breathing, and this can be just something that you just do at any point in time. But in yoga world, we do a few different breath work. So if you've never done yoga before, you're about to do it. Yes, you are. Even if you don't move your body any other way, even just the breath work is a key part of any yoga practice. The first thing we're going to do is called 3-part breath. 3-part breath involves imagining our whole torso, so our abdomen and our chest area as 3 different parts. We have a part below our belly button. So if you just touch below your belly button, that's part 1. Above the belly button is part 2. And the center of the chest is part 3. So if you just want to touch those on yourself real quick, below belly button, above belly button, and the chest heart center, like your sternum, breastbone. So we're going to breathe into each of those 3 areas. And it's healthy that if we start breath work, it is good to get into a nice healthy posture. It is healthy that we start to lower the shoulders. So we subconsciously do raise the shoulders when we're in our fight or flight response. So it's, if you find your shoulders are tense, you may want to inhale, raise the shoulders up, exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Rolling the shoulders in that easy breath can be a great way to help take initial tension out of the body. So inhaling, shoulders up, exhaling, shoulders back and down, maybe squeezing the scapula bones, the shoulder blades together as you bring them back and down. Let's do that a couple more times to really establish our posture first. Inhale up, exhale back and down. Inhale up, Exhale back and down. Great. Now that we have our posture established, your hands can either stay at the abdomen or they can be just resting on your thighs, resting at your sides, whatever's most comfortable for you. But it's healthy now to imagine a color to your breath. Imagine as you breathe in, there's a color to the breath. The color doesn't matter at the moment. We inhale. As we inhale, we fill the lower belly first, then the upper belly, then the chest. So slowly inhaling. As we inhale, fill the chest. We pause briefly. Exhale, empty the chest first. Empty the upper belly second, lower belly third. We imagine that color leaving our body. As we inhale, bring that color back into your body. Fill the lower belly. Let that lower belly expand. Let the upper belly expand. Let the chest expand. Pause. Exhale, empty the upper belly. Empty the lower belly as you empty from the top down. God, let's inhale, inhale, fill the lower belly, fill the upper belly, fill the chest. Exhale, empty the chest, empty the upper belly, empty the lower belly. If our body's moving as we inhale, exhale, that's great. If we see that color enter and exit, that is wonderful. Let's do that 5 more times at our own pace. Inhaling slowly, exhaling slowly. Right. I'm just kind of putting in group chat what you could have been seeing in your colors. The colors now will mention why they matter. They relate to the chakra most in need of attention today. Since we are dynamic living beings, we always have energy flowing every single day of our lives, energy through our bodies, through our whole lives. As we exchange energy with other people, we certainly will have a different focus every day. So again, I'm just kind of putting the colors that you probably saw at some point. And if you saw those colors enter and exit, your body was instinctively telling you, let's focus on that chakra today. So that's where the idea of essential oils might come into play. Stones, sacred stones are always nice. So certainly I'm a big fan of a book called The Chakra Bible. If you've ever heard of that book or seen it on Amazon, The Chakra Bible is one of my favorite books of all because it really is a good comprehensive guide. I know there's about 1,000 books on chakras you could certainly purchase, and I'm sure they're all great. I'm just a big fan of The Chakra Bible because it's very comprehensive. It will give you ways to harmonize and such. And so come on to check in. How is it feeling with the breath work? Did it feel good to fill the belly and the chest? Did it feel good? I'm curious, Jenny.
Yes, no, it was really good for me. Yeah. I actually I got like 3 in and I was like, I want to stop. I want to stop. And then I was like, no, he said 5, keep going. And then I got to number 5 and I was like, oh, okay. Like, and I was interesting. I was going to ask you. So that's funny that you put them up. I was going to ask you about what the colors correspond to. Yeah. I usually see green and today I saw orange, which was kind of fascinating to me. I was like, oh, of course, my favorite color and the one that I need to work on the most.
Focus on creativity today.
Yep.
And Sarah's curious, what color did you see, Sarah?
Today, I think I was seeing mostly like the purpley, like violety color.
Okay. All Right on. So we're in here. We're in our head a lot today. That's what that tells me. So let's clear the mind with our next breath work. How about that? The next breath work we'll do. The root. Oh, it says the root here. The root of our body is. I see a question here in the group chat. Again, the red represents the root chakra. The ideas of security and foundation in life relate to the root of our body at the base of our spinal column. So again, maybe one day we should do like a chakra theme class.
That would be really fun. Yeah, it's
Let's do
really
that.
interesting.
Let's plan that sometime for sure.
Nice. Yeah.
The next breath I want to try with us is Ujjayi breath from Yoga Land. Ujjayi is a really fun name. It represents this idea of the ocean. So if you've ever been to an ocean, you may have sat on the rocks nearby and kind of heard the ocean crash the seashore. You heard the waves, the tidal waves coming in, crashing on the seashore, then receding back into the waters. So we'll kind of have that imagery in mind. What the breath is, it's going to be an inhale through the nose. Exhale will be audibly an ocean wave sound. And some people like to liken it to like a mirror in front of you. So if you fog the mirror in front of you, you're doing it right. So you might want to imagine that mirror or have your hand like a mirror. If you're fogging, if you can feel the warmth of your breath against the hand or the mirror, then you know you're doing it right. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale, make a very audible sound. The ocean crashing on the seashore. So it may sound something like I didn't try to sound like Darth Vader. I wasn't trying to do that, but it may sound like a wave-like sound. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. And again, all your mics are off, so it's okay. You can sound like Darth Vader if you wish. But we'll
Sarah, you and I should do it.
so the idea here is, again, we get nice posture. We always like to start with any work like this with a good, healthy posture, raising the shoulders if we need to, exhaling out, but we'll connect with good posture. And let's try as we inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And as we practice this together, we try to make the exhale a little longer each time. Hearing the ocean waves crash on the exhale. Let's do that 3 more times. Good, good. So nice to hear those sounds. Really, really powerful when we start incorporating breath work in every aspect of our day. And I think that may be a fun breath that our kids may really enjoy doing with us. If you can imagine some fun ways we can do that. I'm not sure if there's a weird Harry Potter character that breathes weird, but I'm sure we can find some movie character, cartoon character. I aged myself apparently with Darth Vader reference, but there has to be a 2020 version character that we can reference today for our young folk. But I think it's very helpful. And I think that, when it comes to the breath work idea, remember that we can only do breath work or any self-care practice right we can only do it right. We can only do it right. There's no expectations that we need. We don't have to be, yogini master we on YouTube. It doesn't have to be like that. I think we just have to be kind to ourselves and just meet ourselves where we're at. And I know I had said extend the exhale. If that's only 3 seconds today, it might be 4 seconds tomorrow. 5 seconds. It will get easier as we practice. So I encourage us to practice at any point in time when we feel any stress, any anxiety, any ways that we start feeling off kilter. Right on. And again, I'm someone who likes to also teach that anything, any stressor can be significant. Please don't think something is too trite to make to care about. Yeah, I mean, please don't compare, is what I mean to say. Don't compare that. Oh, it's not as big of a thing as my sister has. So, is it really important to me or big to me? Yeah. If it's stressing you out, it's important. So don't need to compare to other people. Just meet ourselves and be kind to ourselves where we're at in the process. And we hold points on our body, and we also do breath work, but I also want to do a meditation. I want to do a meditation with us, and here's another great way that we can help create kindness for ourselves. There may be a body part that might be hurting on us every day, whether you need to get a massage for it or go see the chiropractor or the acupuncturist, whoever it is that you choose to see. Again, we all have an ache and pain somewhere, and this is a meditation I call inner wind. Well, we're going to try to imagine a color to our breath, and we'll try to guide the color, which I synonymize with the wind. We'll try to bring the wind to that part of our body. So I will have some music playing here. I found a nice little bit of music here. In fact, I'll kind of put in the title here in the group chat what that is. I found a wonderful piece here that I hope I didn't lose. Did I lose? Oh no, I lost it. Oh no, here we go. I'm going to find it again. It's called Reiki's Merlin Magic. Yes, Reiki Merlin's Magic. Light touch. So as I find this yet again here, I think the matrix went down on me for a moment. I'm bringing it back here. We're going to play this here, and I want to play it because I think it's really healthy to have music like this playing after 15-second ad here on YouTube. You can find this on YouTube. You can certainly, I know if you go on YouTube, you find all sorts of great meditative music. But I think it's healthy that we do this meditation with a nice music in the background. And I'll walk you through it. Here. So as we slowly begin the music here, let's go ahead and connect with breathing. Either the 3-part breath or the Ujjayi breath, whichever you wish to try. Whichever you choose, let's imagine a color to your breath. And we imagine the color entering our body, filling the body as we breathe. And now we imagine where in our body we may feel aches and pains. Where do you hold your stress? Where do you harbor feelings, thoughts, emotions? Just take a moment to inhale and guide the color towards this area of your body. See this area fill with the breath color. And with our next long, deep breath, let's find another area guiding the wind towards this region, filling with energy color as you breathe. And with your next long, deep breath, now let's take our hands and place them at these body regions as close as we can, nearby or upon them. Let's imagine this energy color with our breath filling our hands, and our hands can guide this color into your body. And with our next deep breath, place our hands at our hearts, allowing us to share a word of, word of kindness with ourselves. If that word or phrase is simply, you rock, that's true. You do rock. Wonderful. Also going to put down something in group chat. It's also a good complement to Reiki Light Touch is the Heart of Touch. Both of those are great staples in the massage healing world, holistic world. So if you get anything on Spotify, I think those are the first two items to get on Spotify. Very good. So I wanted to definitely kind of catch up with anyone who does want to share it. Anyone feel their color change, or what did you experience? Were you surprised by where your hands went? It's curious here if either Sarah or Jenny want to share.
Yes, I was going to say Joanne said her baby's going nuts, so she's popping off for a minute, but she's waving by. Oh, perfect. So yeah, for me the color was the same, but for me it was funny because when you had to start thinking about where those places were, like the color like rushed in. Wasn't like I was like trying to force it, like I felt like it kind of was before. It was just like right, like oh yes, I definitely know where those aches and pains are. Um, so I found that really interesting. And then, you know, the more that I kept thinking about it, the more my body kind of leaned into my hands. And I was like, oh, yeah, that is good. So, yeah, that was really, and it was interesting too that like when I started focusing on it, I could identify where it was really easily. And also it started to not, you know, it wasn't so much like yelling in the background as it was like, thank you for noticing.
Our bodies have been speaking to us for a long time. Our brains may not have they've gotten so used to it that it's almost like tuning out a child when they do kind of say the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Our brains get really used to like tuning that out. Our brain can do that to our body. So our bodies may have been signaling and we forget to listen. And what a great exercise to help us rekindle that, to remember what our bodies are telling us.
Mm-hmm.
Great,
Yeah.
great. That was only about 6 minutes. Did it seem like 6 minutes?
It seemed like longer. Yeah. It seemed like I was like, wow, look at all this. I'm really getting in the zone.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really take a long time to put ourselves in that zone. If it was only 3 minutes, it would have been just as effective. So I definitely want to highlight that these tips don't take a long time. I know that as parents, we only have like little 1 minute chunks, 2 minute chunks, literally some days. There's some days when I'm writing an article for Massage Magazine and literally every minute, 60 seconds, my kids are interrupting me. So I always like to have just like little chunks here and there. So I think it's healthy that we schedule in our calendar right now. Finding our phone calendar. When will you do self-care, today or tomorrow? Let's do that, because if we don't actually schedule it in, it may not happen. I know a lot of these ideas might sound good, but then hit button off. Oh, back to reality. So it's important that we schedule it in so that we can see it today or tomorrow and say, oh yeah, I remember what we did with Jenny and Sarah's group today. So even just 5 minutes, it's all it takes is 5 minutes to start that healthy habit. And as that becomes a healthy habit for 5 minutes, maybe it becomes 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, maybe it becomes a full 90-minute yoga class one day, but it doesn't have to be today. That can be a year from now. Good, good. I think it's also healthy that we kind of bookend the idea of the class into one more kind of physical idea. Physically, there's something that we might be able to do in the shower every day. That's exfoliations. In the shower, or it could just be, you know, after your shower, before your shower, wherever at your sink. Exfoliating is easiest in the shower, I think. So I hope that you all have maybe a loofah or something like that. If you don't have a loofah, maybe just a thick towel, a small hand towel can be good usage in the shower. Because exfoliation, I think, is underrated. So underrated. Because did you know that 5% of the oxygen you take in comes in through the skin?
Mm.
Have a fun fact there. So it's not just our lungs, it's also the skin actually absorbs oxygen, it absorbs air. And that's why they made markers non-toxic at some point 30 years ago, because we know that skin certainly absorbs anything that comes onto it. So they had to make markers non-toxic, right? But also the elimination aspect. We eliminate so much through our skin. Being a massage therapist, I can attest that there have been times when I'm able to smell if someone's a smoker, cigarettes or marijuana or otherwise anything. Medications can come out, the scent of medications come out through the skin. So I think the more that we exfoliate, the more that we're able to kind of ensure our skin can eliminate healthily. That supports our immune system and our lymphatic system as well. Lymph system is supposed to move waste, get that stuff out of our body, right? We want to hold waste. So again, I think that exfoliation is going to be a great thing to do for physical touch. And if you don't have something right off the hand, you can always just do it with yourself as well. A thick towel just to exfoliate, just a few seconds in every area, 10 to 20 seconds in one area of your body is going to be great. Again, front side for 10 seconds, backside for 10 seconds, go to each area about 10 seconds. That's going to be enough to create good exfoliation. If I wanted to follow the body's lymph flow, which is our waste management system, I would guide everything towards the middle of the body. So I would just take all my strokes in just one direction, one direction, one direction, one direction, eventually coming back to the center of my body. But in the end, if I forgot to do that, that's okay, as long as I exfoliate. That's the point there. So I think it's really healthy. We do those tips again, holding the major acupressure points we mentioned. Again, the PC6 point in the front of the forearm, TW5 points in the back, which those acronyms actually refer to a heat that can be moved in your body. The pericardium and triple warmers represent in Chinese medicine heat movement in your body. So we're trying to move the heat caused by the anxiety. Then from there, we also mentioned the LI4 point, the webbing point, is a very powerful point as well. So again, we can do breath work at any point in time, the ocean's breath. Perhaps making it a game with our children might be fun. We're at the beach, kids, let's breathe the ocean breath. That can be a fun game perhaps. So the 3-part breathing, trying to make the 3 parts, lower belly, upper belly, and chest area expand as big as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, the idea of the meditation, the inner wind, moving the inner wind, that can be very powerful. Good. So I think, and of course, exfoliation is always going to be a good idea. I just do it in the shower just because, again, I just find that's the only times I have quiet time after 6 a.m. All righty, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, indeed, yes. Oh, yeah, the ujjayi is a really fun word to spell. Different books have different spellings. Here's how I spell it. Here's the latest book I saw, Ujjayi breath. But again, the Sanskrit language is really interesting to translate.
Jimmy, it's interesting you're talking about exfoliation. So I've been taking this, I guess it's a course where they bring different traditions from around the world in the postpartum space. And the Thai tradition involves a lot of exfoliation. Like it's like a critical piece of like your post-birth journey is that they make this special thing that they exfoliate with you with, and like someone comes and massages all over while they're doing this exfoliation, like all over your body. And I think that's really, it's kind of fascinating because if you think about it, like when you're pregnant, you have all these different hormones, right, that somehow have to get out. And that exfoliation would be an important part of that. I didn't connect that before, but yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, and why don't we probably all need it all the time.
I'm so glad you said that, because in our country, traditionally, it's very much, okay, you had your baby, now you go back to work. We might give you a few weeks off, but really the expectation is that you bounce back as quick as what a medical book suggests. And we know that's not the case. We know that shouldn't be the case. I think I wish that we would do things here in our country more like other countries where we offer, 3, 5, 7, a year off, so that we can provide the means for the new mother to have needs met, and babies' needs met, and household needs met. I'd love how Elizabeth Wood, one of your colleagues, Elizabeth Wood, describes it as well. I'd recommend her as well. Yep.
Yes.
All right. So from there, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because again, it's so important that we, just in general, after any sort of stress in our body, we do something like this. And I was thinking also of essential oils that might be really good to incorporate, especially if we're holding a lot in our bodies. I'm going to list a few in the group chat here, oils that might be really good to help to move heat. It might raise heat, but then move the heat in our body. So I'll say them out loud, but I'll put them in group chat as well. How about sesame oil? That can be absolutely wonderful. Calendula oil. I like calendula because it's a good base oil to use for other recipes. If you choose to make your own essential oil recipe, adding a good base oil like calendula is great. Olive oil makes a good base oil too, but I think calendula, in my opinion, it seems to be a step above. Jojoba is wonderful too. Jojoba is wonderful. I use jojoba in my massage practice. That's why my client's skin looks so glowing. That's where the magic takes place there. That's right, exactly. I knew it. That's what I was seeing that from someplace I know. So jojoba oil is a great base oil as well. So I recommend that. Grapeseed oil. Grapeseed's a fabulous oil for the skin in general. Good vitamin E content, antibacterial, but also great for moving heat. Coconut is always a good call here. Coconut's always a good call. And as well as if you want kind of a more thicker oil that has more kind of essential fatty components, kukui nut is going to be a great call, as well as avocado oils, great oils, but they are going to have more of a heavier consistency. So if you don't want that, or if you're more prone to acne, maybe try the sesame or calendula instead. Good, but those are going to be good oil options. And in Chinese medicine and other cultures, they talk about the idea of moving heat. So the intention here is we are going to move heat through the body because anxiety can harbor heat. It's stuck in your body, and your body's trying to move it, but doesn't know how to. That's why you feel the angst of anxiety. But if we can move it with some sort of activity, physical or touch or breath work or meditation, or it might just be going around the block. Someone said that taking a walk is a good idea. Going to the gym, whatever that is for you to physically get that angst out of you is a good idea. That's the basis of most body work. Basis of most massage therapy is to move the heat through the body. Cool. So it's about 11 o'clock. I think that we've done a good job here today of presenting some fun things for y'all. I hope that you'll try something. Can I put a quote in the group chat too, Jenny? Is that okay?
Yep.
Because I think that boundaries are pretty important, but sometimes we forget those as parents. So I had someone told this to me once, and once I started to understand this, this started to make a lot of sense, and I started to make life choice changes. Create the space for what you want. We have to actively create the space. And that's why I had you scheduled into your phones, like actually creating the space, making sure that you're not going to schedule over that time.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's really easy, but wait, but they need me, Yes, they do, but you need to be kind to yourself as well. You need to love yourself as well. So I'm so hoping that everyone follows that idea of scheduling it in every day, even just 5 minutes is all it takes. Well, I want to say thank you, Jenny. Thank you for having me do this today.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Yeah, we're going to pop off Facebook Live, and if there are any additional questions, so here we go.